Hi, I'm Joy Tarleton, here in my office in Walton, Kentucky. Several people have asked me about who I am and why I started this website and YouTube channel. I'm going to try to answer those questions today on People of Northern Kentucky. I've been asked by several people I interview and some friends to give you a little bit of background information on myself and why I do People of Northern Kentucky. If you talk to me more than a few minutes, you know I'm from Georgia. And even though my accent is toned down just a little bit over the last 8.5 years, it's still there. I am the mother of 4 now adult children, ranging in age from 33 years down to 20. And while in Georgia, I homeschooled those 4 children over the space of 25 years. And not only that, I started 2 homeschool co-ops. While there, I was the voice of the homeschooling community to the local media, and I taught several teen classes for the homeschool community. I also was very involved for many years in church and community theater. And I started a ministry as a pregnancy resource center named Life Choices in Jackson, Georgia, and was the chairman of the board and then the director for Life Choices before I left Jackson, Georgia. In 2008, my husband, who was with Kroger Atlanta District offices, was called up to Cincinnati, a downtown Kroger building in Cincinnati, and we chose to live in the small town of Walton because it did have the small town feel but had the city amenities here. I wasn't here very long before I figured out that Northern Kentucky was a different kind of area. You would be part of the Cincinnati area, but and you would also live in your small town, but you were also known as part of this larger community called Northern Kentucky, and it was unique in its own way. I immersed myself in the community, first as a cake decorator with Union Kroger, then with Florence Baptist Church, and then as a marketing director with Chick-fil-A Houston Road. There I also got to immerse myself in quite a few other areas, B&I, the Chamber of Commerce, Northern Kentucky, Leadership Northern Kentucky, and also just the many schools and organizations that we partnered with there. And I just fell in love with the people and saw that so many people that I met have so many interesting stories, and I love people and I love hearing their stories. This past December, I decided it was time for a change. And so armed with a new degree in voice acting and with a subscription to lynda.com to learn YouTubing and website design, and a husband who does videography on the side, I decided to launch People of Northern Kentucky to share stories of the amazing people that I'd met along the way. People like Joni Nevitt, who decided it was time to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. People like Billy McDaniel, who's made such a difference in her local community and is now with Leadership Northern Kentucky trying to raise up the town that's right next to her. People like Tyson Hermes, who's the mayor of Erlanger, but you would never know he's also a beekeeper and really a Renaissance man, does so many more things than that. So I just want you to learn these people and to give their wonderful and amazing stories a platform for you to get to know your neighbor. Northern Kentucky is its own unique place and has its own unique culture, and I want to highlight that culture and highlight the stories of those people. If you know of someone that you think ought to be on People in Northern Kentucky, then go to peopleofnky.com and put in the online form your submission. And while you're there, look at some of those wonderful stories of people I just mentioned and others, and subscribe so you can get information about when we post our new interviews. Bear with us as my husband Rodney and I learn new equipment and new interviewing techniques. Our goal is to help you to get to know your Northern Kentucky neighbors better and to hear the many wonderful stories. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Every Thursday at 10 a.m., get to know your neighbor by catching a new edition of People of Northern Kentucky.